What is going on, warriors of Tamaris? Welcome back to another Call of Dragons video. It's a good day to be a mage player because the new Tohar is gonna be probably the best new magic hero in the whole of Call of Dragons right now. This guy is pulling off some crazy numbers in the open field. Today you're gonna see some awesome juicy war reports. The video might be very long, but I suggest you watch until the end because you're gonna see the fighting style that I use, how I got all the merits, and you're gonna see why Tohar is just the next best thing in the game right now. If you are still new to the channel, make sure you subscribe for more content, turn on that bell notification and never miss out. Like the video, share it with your friends, leave some comments down below. Let's get into it. Alright, warriors of Tamaris, this is season 2 T1. The new update is here. We got so many enemies in our territory. So these are the guys we have been fighting. They're destroying some of our flags right now, but I'm gonna show you the war reports and you're gonna see how this new Tohar is just the next best thing in the game. First of all, for the context of this war here doesn't mean too much for us right now because we have secured our way to the final zone. These guys are just trying to break out and we're trying to have some fun here. So today you're gonna see some awesome war reports for this new Tohar in the game. So first of all, I'm going to show you all the marches that I've been using, and I'm going to take this opportunity again to remind you guys that if you are in the League of Order, I suggest you use Lilia Primary and Thea Deputy with Celestials. You're going to see the report. Maybe that's going to compel you. Now my Lilia only has like a level 1 Infernal Flame. Now if she had like level 5 Infernal Flame, the war report would have been even much better. So for today's video, you're going to see the new Tohar. He's the main focus of this video. He's going to be deputy to Mr. Bertrand. My Bertrand is 5451, not yet awakened. And this is the talent tree that I have been using so far. It was built for the previous Bertrand who was just terrible in the open field. So I didn't change it yet. I'm going to be making a new one, so stay tuned for that. But this is what I am using for now. So we have Bertrand Primary and then we have this artifact level 3. It is doing some serious damage as well. You guys are gonna see some insane war reports today. This is the war pet that I'm using for this pairing. What else can I highlight here? I also have Cindrion and Frega. There will also be a reference point to show you guys the merits that I get in the open field. Again, I'm gonna say this. You should try Lilia and Thea with Celestials. Don't sleep on this march. It is freaking awesome. Okay, so Bertrand and Mr. Tohar. So what changes did they make here? They made it so that you only do 500 skill damage for 3 seconds. This is more damage when compared to 300 skill damage every second for 5 seconds. So 500 every 3 seconds will give you more damage than 300 every 5 seconds. So this is a nice boost for Tohar. Now I don't have the Arcane Torrent, otherwise you would have seen even better reports today. I am using the long range warfare because I used 2 archer marches and you're gonna see how that is important as well. The next thing that they changed about Tohar is plateau protection. Now he's gonna get unyielding and shelter plus 35% defense for 5 seconds and counterattack damage taken minus 15%, and then on the awakening you get 35% attack for 5 seconds. So let's talk about attack in Call of Dragons. Attack is very important in this game because it's gonna help you do a lot of normal attack. It's gonna help you do a lot of counter attack. This is why Lilia and Thea are excellent together. Thea is gonna give Lilia 55% attack if you use Celestials, and Lilia has a 20% attack on her skills. Part of the reasons why I like Lilia more than Velin. Don't get me wrong guys, Velin is excellent, but Velin does not have any attack on his skill kit. He is just good at doing damage, and then when you hit a march that has Velin, the counter attack is not going to be too much. That is why Velin currently does not, pair well with someone like Thea because he doesn't have that attack. But when you look at Lilia, this 20% attack is significant, especially when you put it on Celestials. So if you're in the League of Order, consider going Lilia, Thea, and then Walder and Velin. So my Walder is rocking, oh, this is Walder. He is rocking a level 5 Phoenix Eye. Alright, Warriors of Tamaris, time to switch over to my tablet and show you guys the war report, which is probably why you click on this video. So take a look at these numbers, guys. This is what we got today from fighting. This was just one shot when I came out with my 5 marches. I was using 1 infantry and I decided to bench this march right here. That's why it has less merits. After my infantry died, I brought this march out. As you can see here, you should not underestimate Lilia and Thea. If you have Celestials, you are gonna get some good merits. And my Infernal Flame is only level 1. If it was level 5, these numbers would have been way higher. Now take a look at the MVP of today. Bertrand is not even awakened. He is only 5451. Now this is some good stuff, man. 126,000 merits. Probably the new best mage in the game right now. This one did not have level 5 Infernal Flame. I only have level 1 Infernal Flame, but it could have been more. Now Syndrion is gonna be the good reference point. I was using the long range warfare, and as you can see here, Syndrion is the best single target DPS in the game right now. But look at what Tohar and Bertrand just did to the enemies on the open field. This is just nuts. And then you have Walder and Velin. This march was targeted. That is why it did not bring a lot of merits. So we're gonna push down a little bit and show you more merit reports as well. So this was another short fight that we had. Just take a look at the merits. Look at Lilia and Thea. Look at Bertrand and Tohar. Look at Walder and Velin. And look at this infantry as well. So this Archer March should be the best reference point for you because this march is maxed out. It is 6 stars. I am using long range warfare and I have level 5 Shadow Blade maxed out 6 stars. Look at how it compares with this mage superpowers on the open field. It is just awesome. So I can say now Tohar is just one of the most amazing heroes in the game. Now he's gonna work very well with Bertrand. Like I said previously, attack is very important on your heroes. Bertrand has 25% magic unit attack here and another 15% attack here if you're not targeted. That is a total of 40% attack. And you combine that with the 35% attack for Tohar, it's gonna give you some good normal attack and some good counter attack as well. So this is some good stuff, man. A good day to be a mage player. Now I'm gonna show you guys the actual footage that brought all these war reports so that you know this is not BS. Watch as much as you can. Until then, see you guys in the next video.
Ready when you are, dear fellow. Couldn't you send me somewhere closer? I'll fly there.
I want to hear you repent.
I've never been there before.
You'll learn to fear me. Get back to wherever you crawled out from. That's what happens when you wonder I'm your worst. Any last words?
I've never been there before.
I want to hear you repent. You'll learn to fear me. Any last words? Get back to wherever you crawled out from.
I'll fly there.
I want to hear you repent. Get back to wherever you crawled out from.
Good job, everyone. Move on my command.
You'll never be forgiven for what you've done. Remember this, Bane. Any last words? Get back to wherever you crawled out from! That's what happens when you underestimate. You'll learn to fear me. Any last words? Remember this pain. You'll never be forgiven for what you've done.
Surrender to the king's mage.
That's what happens when you underestimate me. I want to hear you repent. I'm your worst nightmare. I want to hear you repent.
Sun's a tad strong.
I'm your worst nightmare. That's what. Remember this pain. Any last words? I'm your worst nightmare. You'll never be forgiven for what you've done. Any last words?
Bow before me!
Get back to wherever you crawled out from.
Couldn't you send me somewhere closer?
Fools!
Good job.
I'm your...
They'll write songs about that one.
That's what happens.
The Merchant's Guild doesn't work their mules this hard.
Remember this pain.
Couldn't you send me somewhere closer? The Merchant's Guild doesn't work their mules this hard. Sun's a tad strong.
Bow before me!
You'll never be forgiven.
I'll burn you all!
That's what happens when you underestimate me. I'm your worst nightmare. You don't know who you... Remember this pain. Any last words?
Couldn't you send me somewhere?
I'm your worst nightmare.
Onward!
You'll never be forgiven. You'll learn to fear me. That's what happens when you underestimate me.
I'll fly there.
Get back to wherever you...
I can tell your every move.
Remember this pain. Any last words? I'm your worst nightmare. I want to hear you repent. That's what happens.
It is an honor to be consumed by my flames!
You'll never be forgiven for what you've done.
Move on my command.
That's what happens when you underestimate me.
I've never been there before. The Merchant's Guild doesn't work their mules this hard.
Get back to wherever you crawled out from. I'm your worst nightmare.
Surrender to the king's mage. May the frost consume you.
I'm your worst nightmare. That's what happens when you underestimate me.
Move on my command.
your worst nightmare. You'll never be forgiven for what you've done.
May the frost consume you!
That's what happens when you want.
Move on my command! Feel the power of ice!
Any last words? I'm your worst nightmare. You'll never be forgiven for what you've done. Any last words?
I've never been there before.
May the frost consume you!
You'll never be forgiven for what you've done.
Move on my command!
The Merchant's Guild doesn't work their mules this hard. I'll fly there. Couldn't you send me somewhere closer? I've never been there before. The Merchant's Guild doesn't work their mules this hard.
Get back to wherever you crawled out from. I want to hear you repent. You'll never be forgiven for what you've done. Get back to wherever you crawled out from. I want to hear you repent.
Onward!
You'll never be forgiven for what you've done. Any last words?
Couldn't you send me somewhere closer?
I want to hear you repent. You'll learn to fear me. I want to hear you repent.
They'll write songs about...
Get back to wherever you crawled out from.
I'll fly there. The Merchant's Guild doesn't work their mules this hard.
I want to hear you repent. That remember this pain.
May the frost consume you!
You'll learn to fear me. That's what happens when you Get back to wherever you crawled out from. You'll never be forgiven for what you've done.
I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this.
Any last words?
This won't hurt much.
Feel the power of ice!
I'm your worst nightmare.
I've never been there before. Couldn't you send me somewhere closer?
You'll learn to fear me. You'll never be forgiven for what you've done. Get back to wherever you crawled out from.
Sun's a tad strong. I'll fly there. Couldn't you send me somewhere closer?
Surrender to the king's mage.
I want to hear you repent. You'll never be forgiven for what you've done. Remember this pain. You'll learn to fear me.
I'll fly there. Sun's a tad strong.
Get back to wherever you crawled out from. That's what happens when you underestimate. Remember this pain.
Face the flame!
May the frost consume you!
Sun's a tad strong. Couldn't you send me somewhere closer?
Give me.
Move on my command.
Fools!
Onward!
I'll burn you all!
I'm not that wise.
I've never been there before.
Face the flames!
They'll write songs about that one.
Bow before me!
Told you I wouldn't let you down. Sun's a tad strong. Couldn't you send me somewhere?
All part of the... We will fight side by side once more.
You know, what? Not even a hello? Where's the music? Hurry up! Move your feet!
Fight moves on. Sun's a tad strong.
I have only one goal.
The Merchant's Guild doesn't work their mules this hard.
This is boring! Can I go play with fire instead?
Where do you want me?
May the frost consume you!
sun's a tad strong.
Onward! Feel the hell right songs about that one.
The Merchant's Guild doesn't work their mules this hard.
Surrender to the king's... May the frost consume you! Good job, everyone. Feel the power of ice. Move on my... Hell right songs about that one.
The Merchant's Guild doesn't work their mules this...
Prey spotted.
Onward! Hell right songs about that one. May the frost consume you!
I hope I'm handsomely rewarded for this, dear.
Move on my command.
Face the flames! Bow before me!
Sun's a tad strong.
Face the flames!
The Merchant's Guild doesn't work their mules this hard.
Feel the power of ice. Onward! May the frost consume you!
Bow before me!
Feel the...
That's what happens when you underestimate me.
I've never been there before.
Move on my command.
Sun's a tad strong. I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this. The Merchant's Guild doesn't work their mules this hard.
Feel the power of ice.
Couldn't you send me somewhere closer?
Move on my command.
You'll never be forgiven for what you've done.
May the frost consume you. Feel the power of ice.
Sun's a tad strong. I'll fly there. Sun's a tad strong.
Feel the power of ice. Move on my command. May the frost consume you.
The Merchant's Guild doesn't work their mules this hard. I'll fly there. The Merchant's Guild doesn't work their mules this hard.
May the frost consume you.
You'll never be forgiven for what...
Onward!
Couldn't you send me somewhere closer? I've never been there before.
Onward!
Sun's a tad strong.
Move on my command. Feel the power of ice.
I've never been there before.
You...
Sun's a tad strong. I'll fly there.
I fought alongside his man. We will fight side by side once more.
Inspiration could strike me at any moment. Do you really think you...
Not that wise. I just know how to think.
I've never been there before.
Veronica! They'll write songs about it. No quarter! Good job, everyone. Beg for a swift death! Wish you were dead! Not that wise. I just know how to eradicate! Annihilate! They'll write songs about that one. Carry on! Good job, everyone! Eradicate! Annihilate! Know that one? Beg for a swift! You'll wish you... I have n... Face me! They'll write songs about that. Carry on! Good... Eradicate! Annihilate! Carry on!
The Merchant's Guild doesn't work their mules this hard. I'll fly there.
Eradicate! Annihilate! Carry on!
Face the flame!
Know that? Nope! Leave nothing but meat for the crow! I have no rivals! Eradicate! Annihilate! This ain't over!
I'll burn you all!
Sun's a tad strong. I've never been there before.
I'll burn you all! Fools!
Into it. Just as I envisioned.
Bow before me!
How could I?
This can't be. Let them know pain! You'll wish you were dead! No quarter! I'm not finished with you!